Hey everyone, welcome back. Picture a world where broken hearts wear bright smiles and shadows lurk beneath every laugh. Meet Azalea, an unforgettable oddball with a wild mind and a fearless tongue. Opposite her stands Grey, a tattooed enigma with a dangerous edge that makes her question everything. Their story is raw, unfiltered, and wrapped in moments that sting and sizzle. Buckle up for a journey through cracked souls, sharp words, and a fiery connection you won't forget. Ready to dive in? Let's go. Letter 3DF, Gray Letter 3DFs. The office door swings open, and a wave of annoyance rises within me at the interruption. I had told them not to come in while she's here. Her blonde hair whips around as she turns her head toward the doorway where Roman stands. His gaze drops to her, eyes flickering with curiosity. I reach out toward the computer on my desk and pause the movie she was watching while I filled out paperwork for the bust scheduled tonight. What? I ask, my tone firm enough to make him realize I'm not in the mood for any nonsense. Look at the time, he replies simply before shutting my door again. As I lift my eyes to the clock. Motherfucker, I mutter under my breath, feeling her eyes settle on me. You okay? She asks softly, her hand resting gently on mine. I shove aside the weird sensation that floods me and only nod in response. God, that question is one she asks all the time. It should irritate me, but it fucking doesn't. Instead, it makes me feel, I don't fucking know, just, good. Do you need a ride home? I inquire, watching her eyes drop to her fingers. I begin to fiddle with the scrunchie she gave me almost a week ago. No, she replies with a forced smile, and I feel my scowl deepen. What is she upset about? I'm just going to drive. She suddenly smiles up at me, and my frown only grows. What's wrong? She shoots back. I don't think I could ever get used to someone actually asking me that. No one's ever given a real damn before. It's new. It's all fucking new. Nothing, I grumble, unable to hold it in, unused to the question. She exhales quietly, just like she does when I snap at her. I love that, she says, pointing at the scrunchie I slid back onto my wrist. It's been there the entire week. For some damn reason, it calms me down. Unlike Roman and a few other guys, I never turn to Marlboro Ultra Lights to keep myself from snapping when stressed. Because what good would that do in the end? Absolute shit. I'd rather punch a fuck in the face or mess with a goddamn scrunchie. I love it when you call me Big Papa, she wiggles in her seat, and a small smirk creeps across my lips as I watch her. God, she's a wild child. Okay, okay, she giggles, stopping herself. She pushes her chair back to its place in front of the desk. My eyes never leave her small frame. I can't ever take them off her. I'm heading out now, she says, grabbing her phone as I rise. I walk with her outside. A light wind stirs around us. Her blonde hair drifts onto my chest and her dress flutters against her tanned legs. I clench my jaw, friends, fucking friends. Oh, she says suddenly, give Bear a good pat for me. When she slept in my bed, I fought harder than ever before to resist. I don't mind sleeping on the couch. It's comfy, and I didn't want her to think I was being unfriendly if I slept there instead. But it took me hours to actually fall asleep. I couldn't stop thinking about her on my bed where no other girl has been before. Wearing that fucking dress that rose up to the top of her thighs. God, I'm trying so hard to be good to her. We reach the parking lot and she stops in front of her car. She glances up at me, that smile lighting her face. Damn, that smile. Bring it in, she says, raising her arms, and I catch myself getting excited. Excited for a damn hug, I bend down and her arms circle my neck. I straighten up with her legs dangling. Then she lifts her legs and hooks them around my torso. I stiffen at the sensation, unused to this not being a sexual position, or what she fucking calls sexy time. As she pulls back and simply looks at me, I meet those emerald green eyes of hers. "I'll see you later, Gray." She wrinkles her nose into a funny expression. "Try not to get headbutted again." "You know what I mean, like this." She quickly jerks her head left, dodging an imaginary headbutt. I walk to the driver's side of her car, open the door, and help her sit down. "I'll try that," she says, still studying me for a few seconds. I lean in and press a kiss to her forehead. "That's friendly, right? I need to experiment sometime." As I can't just keep going without touching her. The hugs are totally friendly. I'm not exactly a friendly type, even though she's got me hugging for the first time ever. Good. I quietly ask, pulling back and leaning closer. Her cheeks bloom a light pink and my heart does a ridiculous twitch. What the actual fuck? She leans up and I feel her lips on my forehead. My eyes shut at the feeling and my heart does something strange again. What the hell is happening to me? "Good night, Gray," she smiles, buckling her seatbelt. I step back, close the door, still messed up from her kiss. "What's with that face?" Jai asks as I return to the bar. He's wiping down a table from the last customers before closing. "Nothing," I mutter, wiping any emotion off my face. I move to the back and down the hallway to the last room. As I close the door and my eyes catch the photo on the wall featuring all of us. I glance at Jake in the picture, running my hand through my hair. DOA, severed spinal cord. I exhale sharply and shake off those thoughts, and she blames herself. Not only did she endure the nightmare of seeing her dead brother's eyes open and stare at her while he was dead, she's got herself to blame. "Roman mentioned the girl in your office." Jonas claps my back, making my shoulders tense. "Also said he's seen her another time." A smirk crosses his lips. "So is the boss man keeping around a fuckbud." I grab him by his shirt collar and slam him against the wall. The guys on the couches jump up at the loud noise and seeing him pinned. "Shut the fuck up." I yank my hands away and spin around. "Her tits aren't even worth shit," he tries as a final insult. Hearing someone talk about her like she's trash oddly sets me off. Before I realize it, my fist is flying at his face. As I don't stop, only when others pull me back. "What the fuck?" Jai says, looking confused as he arrives, probably drawn by the yelling behind me. "I swear to fuck," I snap at Jai. "Control your little brother. And don't you ever fucking mention her again." The words rush out of me before I can stop them. What is she doing to me? I'm turning into a goddamn blabbermouth just like her. Ignoring the wide eyes around the room, I stride over to the bulletin board. "Stop dwelling on it, her, everything." "Timothy Wells," I say, capturing their attention, and they fall silent about the earlier incident. "He's running an auction 3 hours from here," I announce loudly, pinning his photo where all can see. Jonas can't see past his swollen eyes, but there's no chance he's stepping up to bust it anytime soon. He needs to grow the hell up. About 15 girls are expected tonight." I glance at the group. They all look pissed off. "These busts are ones no one wants to handle. They weigh on you. We witness horrors no one should. Little girls and women being sold to be raped, tortured, and eventually killed. We have to blend in." I nod at them, confirming that we'll keep the jeans and shirts we're wearing. 3 exits. I place a map of the auction site on the board. Gray, Maxon almost giggles. What? Is that a scrunchie on your wrist? They tease, and I glance down at the gray fabric there. What else does it look like? I grumble, so what? They'll never understand what I have. Definitely a scrunchie, Link smirks, popping gum. Then it's a damn scrunchie, I reply deadpan, kiss my ass, motherfuckers. Roman and Theo, I continue nodding at the two, ignoring their snickers. You guys stay outside the back entrance. I expect most trying to escape that way. You Reed and Maxon take the side exit, I pointed out. Blaze and Link handle the front door, I motion there. Everyone else, you're with me inside. I scan the group. We're going in blind, no clue how many will be there, watch your backs. Let's move. What about me? Jonas asks, holding a towel to his nose. Clean the goddamn toilets for all I care, I sneer. We gear up. Guns go in waistbands, around ankles, boots, and jacket pockets. At the front, Jai opens the closet and hands out padded leathers. For some reason, the thought crosses my mind to put one on. Why? I've never worn one before. I'll see you later, Gray. What if I don't? What if something happens and she can't see me? I won't be able to see her. I fidget with the scrunchie on my wrist, thinking it over. I shake my head, take it off, and stash it in my back pocket. Need to stay focused. Azalea, feels like I'm seeing less of you these days, mister. And Terep greets as I step into the store. Sorry, I say, hugging his frail frame. He needs to put on some weight, seriously. It took me days to clean my room, especially the floor littered with shards from the broken mirror. Plus, Gray challenged me to finish a whole pizza. I got to the last slice before I had to stop. He sat watching with those amused, gorgeous eyes after finishing his own food. At least he doesn't judge me. Otherwise, I'd pizza slap him. I'd make sure the pizza slice never dropped to the floor, so it wouldn't go to waste and I could still eat it. He literally lets me watch movies all day, and if that doesn't just tickle my pickle, then I don't know what will. He kissed my forehead. I almost pooped my pants. Nearly. As I couldn't resist kissing his back. I mean, come on, it was right there within my reach. My guess about why the gun guy said, "Look at the time," is that they were planning to party. Or maybe head to a club. I'm only 19, so I'm basically 3 years old in their eyes, which explains why he didn't invite me. Although I probably wouldn't have gone anyway. That's a lie. If Gray was going, I'd pretty much go anywhere with him. I started working with the books in the store, catching up on everything I hadn't done because I've been all over the place lately. Seriously, Gray gives the best hugs for someone who's supposedly inexperienced with them. His big arms just know how to wrap fully around me, and it ruffles my truffles like no one else. The man radiates body heat better than a scorching sidewalk on the hottest summer day, hotter than Satan's actual butthole. I don't know how much time passes before I feel a hand at the small of my back. I turn and see Gray. Automatically, a smile spreads across my lips. What? He asks, noticing my way too wide smile, and I bite my lip. His eyes track my movement, and I quickly release my lip, remembering how much he hates that. As I finish putting away the last few books in the cart and then look back up at him, his gaze fixes on my lower half. Aka my buns, my biscuits, my money maker, my butt. What are those pants? He asks, and I furrow my brows in confusion. They're leggings, I say with a smile. His butt would look incredible in leggings. Too bad he doesn't seem like the type to wear them. He hums, grabbing my arm and turning me sideways and backward a couple of times. Fuck me, he mutters under his breath, and my eyebrows knit again. He places his hands on my hips. One hand trails down to my stomach. You hungry? He asks, and I throw my head back laughing before letting my forehead rest on his chest. We've already gone over this. I'm not hungry. I shake my head. He kisses my forehead, sending butterflies all the way down to my toes. As he pulls away, he leans down for me to kiss his. I smile and do so, but then I notice his bruised knuckles. What happened? I ask, lifting his hand. I punched a shit in the face, he says like it's just normal. My eyes widen. At first, I thought he meant he punched actual poop like a cow patty or something, but that wouldn't bruise. I did too, I nod, showing my knuckles completely clean and unscathed. I'm just so good at punching, it doesn't even bruise. I give him a totally believable smile. I could teach you sometime if you want. I raise my eyebrows twice while he's still scanning my knuckles for bruises. My mind wanders as I notice a book with a maple leaf on it. I thought it was some kind of weed leaf or whatever that herb is, if it even is a herb. I also took weed. His eyes snap back to mine. I've never actually seen real live weed you smoke, I'm just rambling now. You smoked weed, he corrects, and I nod. As I smoked weed, I admit, unsure why I keep doing it. How'd it go? He asks, raising one eyebrow. Why don't you tell me? I have no idea what weed actually does to you. And just moments ago, I thought you took weed, not smoked it. I wouldn't know, he replies, leaning against the bookshelf beside us, and I press my lips together. At least he doesn't use drugs. Unlike me, I do the heavy stuff, that's what she said. Stop. I smoked LSD once, I tell him, and he nods, tucking a strand of my hair behind my ear that had fallen across my face after I nodded firmly to prove just how well I handled drugs. You took LSD, he says, a small smile curling on his lips. I think I'm on it right now, I gush, caught up in the smile. I bet you are. And what does crystal meth look like? I ask. Do people collect the crystals? Since they're crystals, wouldn't they be pretty? What if someone found a crystal somewhere, kept it just because it was beautiful, only to discover it was meth? Little white crystals, he answers, and I give him a little smile. I love it when you talk drugs to me, I say, biting my lip to hold back the laugh bubbling in my throat. He chuckles, like genuinely chuckles. I sigh to myself, savoring the sound in my head. I still haven't seen you shirtless, I blurt out, then proceed to ignore the flush creeping up my cheeks. He glances around the store and I begin to feel hopeful. Then he spots a window. Instead of letting it go, he grabs my hand and leads me to the bathroom. Shutting the door behind us, I sit on the closed toilet, shifting excitedly. I have to warn you, he says. Warn me about what? Azalea, I have to warn you. You might die from how freaking attractive I am. That could actually happen. About, I ask, looking up at him, you won't have a fit. He says, and I look up at the ceiling for an answer. Oh gosh, you have an extra nipple, I gasp, his brows knit together. I got stabbed last night, but it's patched up, he replies. My eyes widen to the size of Jupiter. I stand up from the toilet seat and pace around the bathroom. Here I was worrying about an extra nipple, and he's actually been stabbed. I tell you not to get head-butted, I say, and you don't, which is great, but you went and got stabbed. I look up at him. Do I need to show him the CIA videos I watch? Maybe that'll help him sort his life out. Doesn't he own a bar? So why the heck did he get stabbed? Did you stab him back? I ask, making a jab motion with my hand. He pauses as if considering his answer. He's dead, he says hesitantly, unlike his usual straightforward speech. I'm in the bathroom with a man who has just killed someone or done the killing, or whatever you call it. Do I need to hide you from the popo? I ask him, is he a criminal, a convict, up front, actin', slim shady? Stop, this is serious. Smack that, give me some more. I take a deep breath. You know what? My trunk has a lot of space, so you can stay in there, I say reassuringly. Lila, he replies, you don't need to hide me in your trunk. Oh no, I mutter, running my hand through my hairs. And that's because you've already been arrested. They set bail, but you paid it, so now you're out until your trial, right? I'm a Fed. I'm proud of you for working at FedEx or driving for them or whatever, but we're talking Abu. FBI's Lila. Your FBI? I gasp, eyes wide with surprise. Of sorts, he shrugs one shoulder and suddenly realization hits me. I told you I used drugs. I clutch my chest, mouth agape. I watched movies on an illegal website. I continue frantically. And for the record, if your computer starts acting slow, it might be because of that site. I've ruined a Fed's computer. Oh God, please help me, Jesus. I close my eyes tightly for a moment and silently pray. Dear God and Jesus, I need both of you right here, please. I've basically assured my own imprisonment, so if you can, watch over me while I'm inside. Help make my sentence not too long. Maybe keep my bail low, like $100 tops. When I get to prison, guide me to avoid getting beaten by the scary inmates. And please protect me from polio, hepatitis A, B, and C. I don't know how many hepatitis types exist, but none of them, please. God and Jesus, and you too, Mother Mary, Joseph, even Noah, Abraham, and Moses, this goes for all of you. I love you all. I promise I'm a faithful child, so please help me. Amen. Take me away, I say to Gray after finishing the prayer. He hums, confused. I glance up at him. There aren't any cuffs in his hands, not that I need them, I won't resist. Even if I did, it wouldn't take much for him to control me. I bury my head in my hands. He's made his investigation worse by actually getting me to like him. So gosh, what else could make my sentence longer? Is it a crime to tell someone they have a small peepee? I'm the worst lawbreaker ever. I feel him move closer. He bends down, but I keep my head down. His hands gently remove mine from my face and rest on my cheeks. Take me to prison already, I whisper. He doesn't reply, just leans in and presses a soft kiss to my cheek. He's making it worse. But please kiss me again. He pulls his hands away, probably to get the handcuffs now. I get confused when I feel his strong arms lift me up. He turns and sits on the closed toilet lid, then places me on his lap. You're not going anywhere, he mutters. So you're turning this store into a prison and the bathroom into my cell? I sigh. At least I have a pooper. I try to look at the bright side. It's a clean one, too. You haven't done anything, he says, resting his tattooed hand on my thigh. But drugs, I remind him. You didn't do drugs, he shakes his head and I narrow my eyes. How would you know? I ask, incredulous, a freaking Fed. Call it intuition, he rolls his gorgeous eyes. Was that sarcasm? I follow the trail of tattoos up his arm. Can you take your shirt off? I ask again. That beautiful smirk returns to his lips and I yawn. All this freaking out has left me tired. Let's go to my place, he offers, and I raise my eyebrows. Don't need to tell me twice. I'm ready now, I say, sitting on his couch, surprised by how comfortable it feels. He walks over and stands right in front of me. Why do you want me to? He asks, gripping the hem of his shirt and pulling it up to just below his belly button. My excitement builds. I'll take mine off, I offer, though I'm not sure I actually will. Well, maybe. No, you won't, he grumbles, lowering the shirt slightly again. I'll take my pants off, I suggest. His eyebrows lift as if considering it, but then he shakes his head. You won't, he says, dropping the shirt even further, now with a teasing expression. I stumble, what do you want? Stay the night. Like a sleepover, done deal. I grins, pleased that I won't need to head home tonight. His lip curls at the word sleepover. And I need your number, he says, locking eyes with me and smirking slightly. You're a fed, you can figure it out, I tease, and his eyes narrow. He releases the shirt. I'm joking, you know I'm joking, I say quickly. I'll give it to you. We'd gone this long without texting, but talked just like we used to. He grabs the bottom of his shirt again, making me smile a bit. You know, he borrows my favorite word, this isn't as friendly as you say. I don't care right now. I have a chance to see someone shirtless other than my brother and his best friend, so I'm taking it. I'm completely inexperienced, barely anything. All I know comes from school health and sex ed classes. His eyebrows knit together and he tilts his head slightly. Yes, I interrupt, and he gives me a faint smile that I can read perfectly. That smile says, kiss my grits. He pulls his shirt over his head, and the breath is literally knocked out of me and flung out the window. The temperature in the room spikes by at least 20 degrees. Standing before me isn't just a man, but a real man. I've never seen an actual six-pack before. It's not chiseled like those models who survive on dry spinach leaves plucked straight from the tree or wherever they grow, but gosh darn, it's unmistakable. His muscles are all manpower, not from lifting weights, but from hard labor. He's dense, I admit, not some scrawny guy. He's truly a muscular wall. I gape at him. I imagine Bear is doing the same. Probably not, but I pretend he is so I'm not the only one. I was right, there are more tattoos. I stand and move closer for a better look. I feel his eyes on me as I approach. On his bicep, always hidden beneath his shirts, there's a battle scene. A winged person stands with her foot on a man with horns, devil horns. She holds a sword to him, but it doesn't pierce his skin. He's defeated. Just on the opposite side of that bicep, which holy heck is strong, built, and as large as my leg, there's a very realistic skull with tons of detail. I swear Vincent van Gogh must have done his tattoos. Spreading over one side of his chest, there's a huge roaring lion's head with incredible detail. On his back, extending across his shoulder blade, there's another angel. She reminds me of those old statues they have in Greece. She is dressed in a robe and glances to her left where she rests her hand on a man. In her other hand, she holds a cross. Behind them, shading fills the background, making the pair truly stand out. I shift my gaze downward to his hand. It's covered with numerous small tattoos, ranging from realistic skulls and daggers to gentler designs like a tiny pair of praying hands. His hand is as tattooed as his arm. Notably, there are no flowers present, which strikes me as unusual. Almost everything depicted is dead or grim. Typically, celebrity sleeve tattoos incorporate flowers like roses to fill the gaps. But on Gray's arm, whenever space needed to be filled, it seems he opted for skulls or other intimidating motifs. Yet I love it, it's so distinctly him. Turning to his other arm, I spot the area he mentioned. A bandage wrapped around it shows a little blood seeping through. It will require changing soon. I realize I'll also have to snap out of my trance shortly. Thank you for reading. Azalea, if you don't let me do it, I'm going to throat punch you, I warn, crossing my arms at him as I pause the movie on the TV. Don't threaten me, he mutters. It's a promise, sugar, I say, flexing my bicep. Even as he insists I'm fine, it's fine, blood seeps through his bandage. He's been stabbed, for heaven's sake, he's definitely not fine. Who knows how deep the wound really is? It's fine, he repeats. Well, if it's stitched and still bleeding, you might have opened the stitches. I scoot closer to him on the couch. The warmth radiating from his bare chest nearly makes me fan myself. And if the stitches are open, the wound could get infected. If it gets infected, you could get really sick, maybe even die, and I don't want that to happen, I explain. A bear doesn't want that either. I give Bear's head a gentle pat and he licks my fingers. Gray sighs in frustration. He tells me where to find the bandages and disinfectant in the hallway closet, and when I return, he's sitting upright on the couch. I lower myself to his level, feeling his eyes on me as I peel off the bloodied bandage. I almost gasp. While the stitches are intact, the end of the wound probably should have one more stitch, but it doesn't. I carefully clean around the wound, doing my utmost not to hurt him. When his body tenses, I know I've caused him pains. I rest my other hand on his strong arm, giving it a sympathetic squeeze. Then another, appreciating the muscle there. His arm then wraps around my waist, pulling me closer. I apply a fresh bandage, and just as I tape it securely, he pulls me onto his lap. I hold back the gasp, threatening to escape. He lays his head on my shoulder, and my heart quietly says, "Ah, Bear grows jealous." He approaches me and claws at my leg. I giggle softly and rub his belly when he rolls over for attention. Lips find my neck, and a soft sigh escapes me. I momentarily forget how unfriendly these touches are. As I keep telling myself I don't want to get hurt again, I'm terrified of heartbreak. Out of everything that's happened and is happening, I want to remain friends with someone because I fear that if he hurts me, I'll be left with only Mr. Interrup and my pillows. His fingers trace down the crease in my back, making me shudder under his touch. He kisses up my neck, over my jawline, and stops at my cheek. I can feel your spine, he grumbles. I swear I eat plenty. I do. I eat an unimaginable amount when food is available. I reach around his side and gently press my fingers into his spine. I can barely feel it, and I grins. I can feel yours too, I say, returning my gaze to his only to see his eyes fixed on my lips. Are you mad at me? He suddenly asks, and I furrow my brows. For he trails off, his hand settling on my neck where his mouth just was. It felt too good to be wrong. I shake my head. My eyes glance at the clock. I see it's already nearly 5 in the afternoon. I slide off Gray's lap and notice his jaw tighten in displeasure at my movement. I settle beside him, resting my head against his tattooed arm. Before long, I start to drift into sleep. Let's head to bed, Gray murmurs softly, shaking me awake, and I respond with a small, sleepy nod. I feel his strong arms beneath me, savoring the warmth of his chest beneath my hands. He opens his bedroom door and helps me to my feet. Can I have a t-shirt? I ask hesitantly, not eager to sleep in the sweater I'm wearing unless he wants a puddle of sweat in his bed. You. He rummages through a drawer and grabs the first thing he finds. Tossing it to me, it lands squarely on my face, making me groan as I fall back onto the bed. Once I recover, I stand and remove my sweater. I examine the shirt he handed me. A simple white tee with a collection of black text on the back, something about the FBI. Wearing this doesn't make me an FBI agent. I am not. I pull the shirt over my head and my eyes meet Gray's. I thought he'd left. Running a hand through his thick, dark hair, he says, "Give me a break, Lila," as his jaw clenches, leaving me puzzled. "I'm trying to be good for you." "You're making it damn hard," he says sharply, stepping closer. "That's what she said, shut up." "Stop biting your lip," he orders, glaring, and I release it without realizing it. He grips my waist, pulling me flush against him. One tattooed hand rests atop my throat as he tilts my face up. His gaze travels down the shirt on me and he mutters a curse. "I'm hopping in the shower," he grumbles, then releases me and heads to the bathroom. About 15 minutes later, he returns, wet hair dripping water over his toned chest. My eyes trail him with a slight perverted gaze as he reaches the head of the bed, grabbing a pillow to take along. "Gray," I call softly as he starts to leave the room. He turns, looking at me. I glance at his torso. He notices. He wipes a water droplet from his abdomen. I wipe the drool pooling at my mouth's corner. "Take the bed," I say, starting to rise. "I'm not sleeping in that bed unless you're in it." My heart soars and flies out the window to wave at Jesus. "Okay," I murmur weakly. I stretch out my legs. Removing the brace from my leg, he sits on his side of the bed. I gently massage my knee, letting out a soft sigh. As a faint scratch sounds at the closed door, followed by a quiet whine, I clutch my chest and stand, carefully approaching the door. "He's not allowed in here," Gray grumbles, and I gasp. Who could resist those whines? "Please," I plead, but his expression remains unreadable. "Gray," another little whine is heard. I glance back at Gray. "How can you just ignore that?" Poor Bear feels left out. My voice softens for Bear. "He just wants to spend time with us," I explain, edging closer to the door. I'm not giving up on Bear. From the other side, he emits the world's cutest little ow, and I shoot Gray a pretty please look. "Got him it, fuck," his jaw tightens. "Fine," he relents. I beam with excitement as I open the door. Bear rushes inside, his tail wagging enthusiastically. He presses against me, nearly knocking me off balance, and I run my fingers through his sleek black fur. "Look at how happy he is," I say, cupping Bear's face and tilting it up toward me. He licks my nose and I laugh softly. I head over to the bed and Bear darts to Gray's side. He places his paws up on the mattress and repeatedly nudges Gray's arm. Bear adores him. Climbing onto the bed myself, Bear pushes his hindquarters up as well. "Bear," Gray warns with a frown. I'm guessing Bear isn't allowed on the bed either, though the first time I was here, Bear jumped up to see me. Bear leaps onto the bed like a fox bounding through snow, and my affection for him deepens. He goes wild, chasing his tail in circles, bounding about, and pouncing on Gray, who looks unimpressed but with a faint sparkle in his eyes. When Bear tires, he collapses onto his large frame, panting with his tongue lolling out. "You're such a good boy, Bear," I say, inching closer. He rolls all the way onto his back, seeking the belly rub he deserves. "I don't want him sleeping with us," Gray grumbles. "You won't even notice he's here. I'll keep him on my side," I reply, patting the other side of me. Bear promptly settles right there. I stroke his head. "If you don't want to snuggle him, fine. I'll give him the snuggles he deserves," I say, looking at Gray, who looks displeased. "Your face will stay like that," I tease, adjusting a part of his bandage that had slipped. Grumbling, he rises, switches off the lights, then returns to bed, lifts the covers for us, gets in, and turns away on his side. I don't need him, I have Bear. Turning onto my side, away from Grey, I drape an arm around Bear's big body. He twists to lick my face before settling down. Barely conscious of Grey's presence on the other side of the bed, I drift off. I awaken to the bedroom door opening. Immediately, I feel the weight of my entire body crushed. It's not Bear on top of me. Grey's hand is resting on my bare stomach, and his entire body presses down on me. His head lies on the pillow above mine, and his long legs aren't tangled with mine, they rest between them. I'm holding this man as if he weighs only 30 pounds, but he's twice my size. Wait, then who opened the door? Grey, a deep voice calls. At least the covers still cover us, thank goodness, because I have no idea how much my shirt has ridden up. And with Grey's heavy body pinning my small frame, I'm sure the guy can't even see me. Grey doesn't so much as twitch at the voice. Oh God, there's a dead weight pressing on me. I can't move, he's so heavy. Grey, the voice calls again louder. Grey finally shifts. His hand slides up to the bottom of my bra. My heart pounds wildly in my chest. Grey. The voice shouts. Grey releases a low groan, his head moving slightly, and I assume he's opened his eyes. I like you beneath me, he mutters quietly, his thumb tracing the wire at the bottom of my bra. He likes making it hard for me to breathe. Get up, man, the caller demands. Grey grunts in reply. He notices the top of my shirt all bunched up right above my breasts and pulls it down for me before rolling off. I take a deep breath, finally getting the air I need. WH. The guy makes a small, surprised sound once I'm exposed. I decide to continue pretending I'm still asleep to avoid any awkward confrontation. So I turn onto my side, facing away from the door, hoping for the best. Bear isn't here to help me through this. I feel Grey sit up beside me, his arm brushing against my back. Almost all of us are out here, so. The guy trails off, probably glancing toward me. Stop looking at her. Grey grumbles as I feel his hand tug my shirt down to cover the exposed part of my back that I hadn't even realized was uncovered. All right, the guy replies defensively. Whenever y'all are ready to come out, we'll be here. I think one of the guys is cooking, so we'll be here a while. Yeah, thanks for just fucking showing up. Grey's voice remains displeased. Well, San has news about the last bust, the guy says. I feel like an agent listening in on this. Is this illegal? And tell Sanford that I'm kicking his fucking ass for bringing all you fucks. Grey responds unhappily and the guy chuckles. Will do, he says as he closes the door. Considering how long I've already been pretending to sleep, I'm tired again. I fall back asleep while Grey gets off the bed and walks to the bathroom. Roughly 10 minutes later, I'm woken up. Come on, Grey's voice coaxingly says as he takes one of my hands and pulls me to a sitting position. With the lights on in the room now, I keep my eyes shut. Lila, open those eyes, he says with amusement, and I squint them open. He helps me out of bed and leads me to the bathroom. My heart flutters when I see the toothbrush I used last time now in the holder next to his. I brush my teeth, still squinting. How freaking bright does this guy like his lights? Gosh darn. I squirm on my feet and he sighs before wrapping an arm around my waist, stepping behind me and holding me steady by letting me lean back against his bare chest. His other hand rests on my stomach. 3-2, you're hungry, he asks, and I groan softly. I finish brushing and splash water on my face to wake up. Gray grabs a towel and presses it directly onto my face. He doesn't wipe off the water, just holds the towel there. Thanks, I mumble into the towel, and then he finally wipes my face. Is he going to say anything about literally sleeping on top of me or not? But since I was asleep, I don't bring it up. I glance at his butt. I raise my hand slightly as if to smack it, but then lower it again. Ooh, I want to. I start putting my hair up in a bun, but halfway through twisting it, my arms get tired and I have to lean over the sink to rest them for a moment. I've got noodle arms. I finish my hair and look at myself in the mirror. Then I glance at Gray, who's watching me through the mirror with a little smirk. What? I ask, an amused smile appearing on my face. He just shakes his head, rocking back on his heels. I remove the extra hair tie from my wrist and use it to tie the back of his shirt, making it fit me better so it doesn't swamp me. Once we're back in his room, I let out a long sigh and put on my brace. Gray makes no move to put on a shirt, and honestly, I'm glad. I could look at his goodies all day. He opens his door and leads me outside. I hear voices, lots of talking. Gray, how many people are here? I ask, stressed. He turns around and shrugs with one shoulder. Probably 15. My eyes widen and I shake my head, halting in my tracks. I'm not going, I declare, and he rolls his eyes. Don't act like you're shy, he says, knowing I'm anything but. He grabs my hand, but I plant my feet firmly like that'll stop him from taking me anywhere. I'm not going, I repeat, as if those are the only words I can say. What would I even do in a room full of strangers? I'd try to speak, but they'd just ignore me like everyone else. It's basically guaranteed they'll hate me. Everyone does. Gray did when we first met, probably still does a bit actually. Fine, stay there, he says and starts walking away. I smile slightly in triumph. He gets 4 steps out before turning around and storming back toward me. I try to pull away, but my knee troubles slow me down. He grips my hand and starts pulling. I dig my feet in, but it does absolutely nothing. So I collapse to the ground like dead weight. God, you're a child, he grumbles. Lying flat on my back, I stare up at him. He lets go of my hand only to grab my uninjured leg and drag me along. Gray, I warn, I swear if you drag me in there, you'll what, Huss? I'll dog nap bear, I threaten, and he narrows his eyes at me. I'd bet $100 this would be the easiest dog nap ever. He'd probably just happily follow me wherever. I'm not scared of your threats, Lila. Ooh, you should be, I warn. I'm a dangerous little person. His grip loosens and I take the chance to escape. I quickly roll onto my stomach and, using my arm's strength, grab the door frames to drag myself back to his room. He catches my foot and pulls me back, making my shirt right up just beneath my bra. He flips me over and I'm lying there with my stomach exposed. Look, I motion to my belly button and his eyes follow. Now you've given my belly button the cold. I pull my shirt down, but he lifts it again. Goosebumps rise and are quite visible, which is perfect. What's that? He points to the scar on my ribs where I had surgery. A scar? No kidding. Oh yes, where'd it come from? He asks, and I sigh softly. I once saved a child from a train, I say dramatically. Shit, he mocks sarcastically. The crash, I have metal plates in my ribs, I explain. I didn't mean to bring it up. It's okay, I smile at him, sitting up. He grabs my hands and helps me stand. Come on, he urges, and I plant my feet again. What's the deal? He huffs, and I fiddle nervously with my fingers. He seizes them, trying to make me stop. No one likes me, I begin softly, and those people won't either. And I'll punch them right in the damn dicks. Quit being shy because you know you're not, let's go, he says. Despite threatening a lot of peepees, he somehow makes me feel a little better. I sigh and lift my feet off the ground. Keeping my head lowered, we step into the loud living room. I nearly whimper when the noise suddenly drops a fair amount. Goddamn, I thought you were kidding, a voice close by remarks. I told you, replies the voice from this morning. Azalea, Jai's voice questions, and a breath of relief escapes my lips. I glance up to see him sitting on the couch beside the guy I once told he had a small Peter. My eyes narrow slightly at him. His face is faintly covered with bruises, and I would high-five whoever did that if I knew who it was. I scan the room and realize Grey was right. About 15 guys stare back at me. I've never been surrounded by so many guys before. They all look perfect for my pimping business. Grey pulls me into the kitchen and I hear Jai follow along, plus some others. Are your lungs deflated? Carter, the guy I nicknamed Dr. Weiner after he checked my knee, asks. Grey was lying directly on top of you, fully on top. I didn't even notice you until he rolled off, says a guy with the prettiest hazel eyes I've ever seen. Am I lost in those eyes? Yep, you have really nice eyes, I blurt out, the color. A faint smile spreads across his lips and his cheeks flush the lightest shade of pink. I hold back in awe. I want to hug him, he's just so cute. Thank you, he clears his throat. Grey then yanks my hand roughly, pulling me closer to him. I'm Theo, he smiles. She's Azalea, now enough, Grey grumbles while Jai smirks slightly beside Theo. Have I seen you somewhere before? Another guy asks. I'm mesmerized by his butt, it's very nice and round. Yep, I'm a pervert. No, I shake my head, I'd remember you, why's that? He tilts his head, a small smirk on his face. Because your butt is really nice, I spill out, causing the smirk to widen. How's the knee? Carter inquires. Wouldn't you like to know, Weatherboy? He reaches toward it, I pull it away. I swear you're going to get kicked in the face hole, I warn. I feel Grey's eyes on the side of my face. Looking at him sidelong, I see a small smirk. I swear she's my favorite person. Jai winks at me, nudging nice butt guy. Suddenly, I'm lifted like a child by my underarms and set on the marble kitchen counter. I glance at Grey to give him a really look, but his expression is unhappy. What's wrong? I ask softly. He shakes his head, though his jaw ticks. You need to change that, Grey. Carter nods toward Grey's bandage, which covers the gruesome stab wound. Carter steps forward, grabbing the supplies we left out from me treating Grey last night. Grey just takes them from his hand. You're not fucking touching me, you rough fuck. He glares icily at Carter. My eyebrows lift in surprise. Come on, Lila. He walks over to me, handing me the supplies. And you're not supposed to be lifting. He points to Grey lifting me onto the counter, but gets cut off. Kiss my ass, he tells Carter, who remains completely unfazed. Only now do I realize that Grey had been on the kinder side toward me from the very start. You're gentle, he murmurs softly, and I bite my lip, restraining the wide smile threatening to break free. I still hurt you, though, I say as I start removing the bandage. Not enough for me to kick your ass, he mutters, and my eyes widen when I lock gazes with him. Not that I would ever, he quickly amends, that didn't come out right. And Carter must have gotten his butt kicked then. Speaking of which, I notice a small cut on his lip and a faint bruise on the bridge of his nose. I carefully and gently replace his bandage, and as soon as I'm finished, he grabs a plate and hands it to me. Eat, he commands. I sigh at his tone. Please eat, he quickly softens, and I smile at him. He helps me down from the counter and leads me to the dining room table where a few other guys are eating or chatting. As I take a seat, and before I even begin to eat, my eyes settle on the hair of the guy sitting nearest me. I instantly fall for his curtain-style haircut and soft, light brown hair. His hairstyle reminds me of Jared Leto's in the show Camp Wilder. Azalea, Jai comes over and catches the attention of amazing hair guy who looks my way. You gonna eat that? Jai nods toward the bacon on my plate. I lean forward, closer to Jared Leto's hair doppelganger. I love your hair, I say, smiling up at it. As I bite my lip again, wanting to play with it, I bet it's soft. Thank you, he says, resting his chin on his hand with a wide grin, and I notice a strand of hair fall over his eye. I love your smile, he adds, and my heart skips a beat. No one's ever told me that before. Thank you, I respond sincerely. You're a cutie, he chuckles, making my heart flutter again. No one's ever told me that either. Did I just make a friend? Link, Jai calls out, but Link ignores him, still focused on me as I watch his hair. Lincoln. Jai calls louder, finally getting his attention. You better watch yourself, you horny bastard. Gray oughta whoop your ass for flirting with her. He was flirting with me. I turn to where Gray was standing, but he's gone. Why would he even be that upset? Yeah, sure, just leave me here with all these guys, that's fine. At 6:30 at night, Gray finally gets all the guys out of the house. He hasn't said a word to me since I bandaged him up earlier, and I'm slowly planning to kick that nice butt of his. He shuts the door and with the glare that's been on his face for hours, sits scowling at the TV. What's wrong? I ask for the fifth time since earlier. He just shakes his head. He doesn't say anything. Gray, I deadpan, knowing he's lying. He directs his glare at me. Excuse me, sir. Nothing, he says darkly. As I remain silent, my hand stroking Bear's back. I don't even remember doing anything to him. To make it worse, he won't tell me if it was me and what I might have done wrong. Fine, I huff. A good 10 seconds go by. Fuck, he curses, standing up from where he sat and pacing slowly around the room, his hands roughly fiddling with my scrunchie. You're fucking with me, Azalea, he says, using my real name, and I know something's serious. What do you mean? I whisper gently. You're messing with my head, his jaw twitches nonstop. I don't get it, Gray, I murmur, eyebrows knitting together in confusion. How do you think it makes me feel when you're out there telling those guys you like their hair or their damn eyes? And God admit Azalea Maxon's ass, seriously. He erupts and I just watch him lose it. Maybe I'm not great at giving compliments. Well, I start, he cuts me off. I'm not fucking finished, he says low, and I silence myself. You hug me, you kiss me, you sleep next to me, you're showing me how this works, but you never say my eyes are fucking beautiful. Why the hell are you saying it to them? I recall my efforts at making friends with those few guys. I guess making friends with guys is different from with girls. I can't do this if all you are is another problem to deal with. I don't want that crap, and I sure as hell don't want some girls screwing with my head. He shakes his head. For fuck's sake, Azalea, he throws his head back toward the ceiling. I thought he wanted to hear I was his friend, that I was here for him, and that I wasn't a burden. I don't want to be your fucking friend. My heart sinks and I look down at my hands, swallowing the lump in my throat. Are we really falling back into the old patterns? I hear him stop in front of me and bend down. He cups my face with both hands and lifts my chin to meet his. I can't be your friend when every time I see you, I want to fuck you. I want to touch you in places no one else should be allowed. I want you staring only at me. I want to kiss you not here. He leans his forehead against mine, but here. He trails his thumb over my lip and I shiver, damn friendship. I know you think I'll hurt you. I know, he pulls back, locking eyes with me. I've already done that too many times. I've got a lot to figure out, but I want to learn from you. I need you to straighten me out and help me get my shit together. I promise I can be more than just your friend. Gray, I begin softly, placing my hand on the side of his face. I want to fall in love with you, he murmurs. Thank y'all for reading. Azalea, almost 2 days, Azalea. My father's voice reaches my ears the moment I step into my room, my supposed sanctuary. I've been waiting for you. I need shine, he says, glaring up at me from where he sits on my bed. I can't face this again. Seeing my hesitation, he stands and moves to stand right before me. My heart races, gripped by fear. Fine, you don't want to, he shrugs, and for a moment it feels like he might let me go, but I was wrong. Undoing his belt, my heart sinks. Dad, please, I beg, but it makes no difference. I'll get it. Realizing he has no intention of stopping, I turn to leave my room and hopefully the house, praying Gray might still be here. Suddenly, my father grabs my arm and yanks me back, striking my back violently with his belt. I drop to one knee as a cry escapes me. I stop counting the blows. Each strike drains my strength until my back goes numb and I no longer scream. Then he ceases. Without glancing at me, he exits the room. I stay motionless on the floor. I remain like that for a week, alone in my locked room, overwhelmed by fear that Dad will return and repeat his cruelty. I suppose it's his way of punishing me. Maybe I should stop being a baby and just get used to it. I feel awful for ignoring Gray's calls and texts, but I know if I don't, he'll convince me to see him, and I don't want a Fed to witness what Dad did. It's even worse than telling Aaron. On Friday, exactly 1 week and a day after the welts appeared on my back, I finally managed to move about and do things with less pain. After clearing out my closet, I hop into a warm, soothing bath. My phone rings from the sink where I placed it. My heart aches, thinking of how I've ignored Gray. I want to fall in love with you. Those words sweetened me in a way I'd never imagined. To consider that someone, anyone, could feel that way about me feels surreal. Refreshed in content for the first time in a week, smelling wonderful, I toss on a lilac sports bra and an oversized t-shirt. As entering my room, fingers running through my damp hair, my heart nearly stops as I see the man inside. I clutch my chest and gasp. While happiness floods me at seeing him after so long, his expression is far from joyful. Wait, he can't be here. Gray, you can't be here, you have to leave, I rush out. If Dad finds him here, who knows what would happen once he leaves? How did he even get in? What if he's one of those Fed types who sneak inside to catch people? The fuck do you mean I can't be here? He asks, clearly upset. You ignore me for a fucking week and now, the first time I see you, you tell me to leave. I feel awful, a terrible person. I know, I nod, taking all the blame. Am I selfish for not wanting another beating? I don't want Gray to be upset. Maybe another whipping to make him feel better is okay. I'm sorry, Gray, I say earnestly, and he visibly softens. I don't know how I haven't messed this up, he murmurs, lifting the scrunchie, worrying about you so much. I move toward him and wrap my arms around his waist. He tries to return the gesture, but I catch his hands before they can touch my back, placing them back at his sides. He stiffens. Why won't you let me touch you? His voice is strained with unhappiness. How'd you get in? I shift the topic and release his waist, walking over to my window. The door was open, he replies. I glance down at our driveway. Dad's car isn't there. A quiet relief escapes me as I turn back to him. What's happening, Azalea? His jaw tightens as he searches for answers. Nothing, I avoid his gaze. He steps forward and again attempts to embrace me. Before his hands reach my back, I pull away. Why the fuck won't you let me touch you? He grows frustrated and I feel even worse. Here, I'm sorry, I say, grabbing his arms and guiding them to wrap around my lower back. His arms relax, but I'm tenser than ever. Only God knows when Dad might return. What is it, him? He raises a hand and brushes a damp strand behind my ear. Despite my mind's protests, I lean into the touch. Let me see you, I hear the longing in his voice, and I allow him to tilt my chin up to meet his eyes. You need to leave, I try once more. Spend the night with me, he pleads. Come back with me, I'm so selfish, aren't I? Gray, I can't. I'm sure there's some other girl who would love to, though. I just can't, I say, my own words breaking my heart, like the girl he kissed in the very room where he kissed me. His eyes darken and he shoots me a glare I haven't seen in a long time. Bull fucking shit, you're an adult, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Is your dad telling you things? Your mom? I don't want some other girl, I want you, he says, frowning deeply. I'm hardly grown up. You fucking know I want you, only you, he mutters. What am I supposed to say now? My dad doesn't. He doesn't want me to be around. You. I stammer and he scoffs. Fuck what he says. I can't, I whisper. I live under his roof, and I have no clue what he'd do if he found out Gray was here and that I left with him. His other hand slowly tries to rise on my back. I stop it before it climbs too high. His jaw clenches tightly. I haven't touched you all fucking week, and now that I finally have you here, you barely let me. He grumbles, and I feel guilty again, staring at the floor. He releases me and slips off his boots. I watch him with a mixture of confusion as he walks to my bed. Suddenly, he grabs my hand and pulls me onto his lap, facing him. Do you want me to touch you? He asks softly, his eyes trailing down to where our bodies meet. Of friggin' course I do. I give a small nod, and his hands settle on my thighs, then trail up before returning down in a gentle, soothing motion. Just here, okay. I make sure he understands not to touch my back again. Just here, he whispers, and I let out a quiet hum. His hands gradually move a bit higher, and I lay my head against his chest. When his hands slip beneath my shirt and rest on my upper thighs, he pulls me away from him. He grabs the hem of my shirt, and before I can protest with, "Whoa, I ain't got no britches on," he lifts it up. His eyes take in my favorite pink and purple striped underwear. He emits a low, throaty groan before gently lowering my shirt back down. It's funny because this time I actually don't have pants on. I chuckle softly, but he doesn't return the laugh. Instead, he tightens his grip on my legs and drags me closer, resting his forehead against mine. God, I want you, Lila, more than I've ever wanted anyone else. Ah, Gray, my heart flutters as he pulls his head slightly away from mine, a puzzled expression crossing his handsome face. You want my hugs, is that it? Well, guess what? You can have all the hugs you want, I say with a joyful smile. I love that he desires me. Apparently, my hugs are better than I thought. See, Mir, I wrap my arms around his neck, but his remain by his sides. My excellent hugs apparently surprise him. I rub my hand along his strong back for several minutes before pulling away. The same look lingers on his face. Do you want another, sugar? I tease, and his expression sours. I lean in for another hug. Don't call me that, he mumbles against my shoulder. He'll come around eventually. Then don't call me Lila, I offer, and he stiffens before emitting a harsh no. I'll go put on pants if that's what you want. No, he interrupts, gripping my legs and holding me close. I lean into him and catch a whiff of his scent. He smells amazing. Dad wouldn't approve, though. I lift the front of my shirt and sniff it as well. It's starting to carry his scent. Dad wouldn't like that either. I reach over to my bedside table and grab a fragrant perfume. I spray a little into the air and let it drift down on us. What's that for? Now you can smell as much like me as I do like you. That way my dad won't be able to tell you've been here. You smell really good, but he says you smell like a man. The guys already say I smell like you. His eyes roam over every inch of my face. Now he'll carry more of me in his scent. Well, I just don't want to get in trouble, I say, putting the bottle away. He sighs sharply before sliding one hand beneath my butt and lifting me up as he stands. Good grief, what does this guy bench? 800 pounds? He lowers us onto my bed, me fully on top of him. What's wrong with your back? He asks seriously. I heard it. How? He inquires, and I search my mind. Sex, I blur out. He tenses, then relaxes a few seconds later. Gotta admit, Lila. I wake up slowly and immediately feel Gray's hand brushing hair from my face. I realize I'm still lying directly on top of him, but I don't feel guilty because he did the same to me, and he weighs about 23,583 pounds more than I do. Or at least it felt that way. I turn my head toward the clock, feeling his gaze fixed on the side of my face, and almost have a heart attack when I see it's nearly time for Mom to come home. But plus, who knows when Dad will get back? Gray, you really need to go now, I tell him. He releases a sharp sigh before lifting both of us out of my bed. His grip on my chin is gentle yet firm. You don't deserve to be treated like a fucking child, he sneers, but the anger isn't directed at me. Still, I live under his roof. You do whatever the fuck you want, he adds, though I can't help but fear he might hurt me. And for you not to be allowed to smell like me, that's bullshit. And tell your dad he can kiss my ass, he says as he lets go and starts putting on his shoes. I would never dare to speak against him directly, I just can't. I'm honestly excited to hear Gray talk this much. Let me guess, he remarks as he finishes putting on one shoe. You can't. I could treat you better than those fucks, and I'm still figuring it out. You're 19, not 10, he grumbles. You don't understand, I sigh. Why? Because I don't have parents. He questions, and I feel guilty. No, my dad, he's just. I hesitate, and he notices, narrowing his eyes. He just what? He parents in his own way, that's all. I suppose that's true. And your mom, he asks. She doesn't have much to do with me, I mumble, aside from occasionally telling Dad that I've had enough. We were all affected by Jake's passing in different ways, I add, shrugging one shoulder. Don't ignore me anymore, he says sharply, then softens it with a quiet please. It's okay, I agree, opening my door to walk him out now that his shoes are on. We reach the outside and head toward Gray's Jeep. He leans against the side of his car and grabs my arm, pulling me flush against him. I'm going away for a while after tomorrow, he says, and I feel myself shrink a bit in disappointment. How long? I ask. 4 or 5 days, he sighs, and I bite my lip, wondering who I'll talk to when he's gone. His hands slide to the back of my upper thighs, pulling my lower body closer to him. Holy Mother of Jesus, am I okay? I'm pretty sure I've forgotten how to breathe. He lowers his head to my neck, gently biting the skin just beneath my jaw. Whoa, baby. Horny thoughts flood my mind, and I remind myself to say an extra long prayer tonight. Being me, aka a slight idiot, I grab his hands and guide them where I want them, my booty cheeks. I stop thinking about not wearing pants, all I feel are his warm hands. He lifts his head from my neck, a gorgeous smirk playing on his lips. You like that, huh? He gives my behind a little squeeze, and I start feeling hot. I love you, Jesus, and I'm sorry. Are you going away for work? I clear my throat before finishing the question, my voice a bit higher than usual. He nods, his eyes roaming over my face. Don't get stabbed or head-butted or hurt, please, I say, and his eyes soften. If it happens again, somebody's going to get got. And if someone gets got, I might have to run from the popo. Are you catching a bad guy or what? I smile. He rolls his eyes slightly before giving a small nod. I wish my life was as thrilling as his. He manages a restaurant, something I can't even understand why, and also hunts down bad guys for a living. Me. From time to time, I stock new shipments of books on the shelves. I wonder if he was chasing some bad guy that first time we went out for milkshakes together, when he practically kidnapped me in that back room. Who exactly were we hiding from the first time we had milkshakes? I voice my curiosity aloud. No one you need to worry about, he replies dryly, and I bite my tongue. He can't just brush me off like that. My curiosity is way too strong and my mind starts to wander. A lot. Was it a local pimp? And I ask, thinking maybe I'd learn the ropes. Sure, he replies, rolling his eyes again. Suddenly, I hear a car pulling up the driveway. I quickly move his hands off me and step back. I can feel his scowl on the side of my face, but I ignore it as I watch Mom's car pull into the driveway. Still no pants. She won't tell Dad, right? You should go, Gray, I say quietly. I feel him lean in to kiss my cheek, but I stop him before he can, my heart feeling heavy. He could get hurt, and I'm too scared of Mom telling Dad to even let him kiss me. I really am selfish. I watch his jaw tighten and his eyes darken. I whisper the faintest "I'm sorry" to him, but I'm not sure he hears it. I hear Mom's car door close just as Gray opens his own. I feel her hand on my arm while I watch his car drive away. Go inside, Azalea, she tells me, and I obey, with her following closely behind. As she shuts the door behind us the moment we're both inside. You shouldn't be bringing him around like that, she says, and I look down at my feet. As if your father had found out he was here, we don't know what he'd do, she adds, and I'm grateful she's sober right now. Make my back welt up from his belt. Or lock me in Jake's room again? I ask, looking up at her. Her dark brown hair lies flat and her eyes meet mine tiredly. I notice a faint bruise on her cheek and I feel upset. It's one thing for him to put his hands on me, I understand his violence toward me, but Mom did nothing. When did he start hitting you? My voice cracks. I don't know, she breathes, shaking her head slowly. Please, I plead, my eyes filling with tears, though I don't let them fall. Please stop drinking, I whisper, watching her dulled blue eyes fill with tears. I turn and head up to my room, not giving her a chance to respond. Please.